Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Kevin Frazier. I'm a proud alumnus of the class of 1992 and currently have the pleasure of serving as both a member of the Alumni Board of Directors, but also as a faculty member in the Department of Humanities. I am very pleased this afternoon to welcome you to the dedication of Founders Hall. Today, with the dedication of this building, we honor scores of men and women whose devotion to teaching and student success have made UNCA the great institution that it is today. We offer homage to those whose leadership has guided us through good times and through bad, and to whose example we look for inspiration. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of introducing to you several individuals who are following in the footsteps of our founders, and who, in the spirit of unconditional service to UNCA, offer greetings and thanks and honor to those who came before. Patsy Reed joined the UNCA family in 1994 from Northern Arizona University. In her position as Chancellor, Dr. Reed has shown herself to be a leader of great strength and able wisdom, and the tradition of those great UNCA leaders who came before her. I am pleased to introduce to you the leader whose vision and ability is preparing UNCA for the 21st century, Dr. Reed.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here today to commemorate actually two sorts of things. To commemorate the students and the center of student life, the students who have built this university through their interest and their hard work, maybe some fun that they had along the way, but being part of being a student body. We acknowledge them as being our founders. They were part of that synergy that helped make this a great institution, and we're pleased to recognize them today. We're pleased to recognize the former students, the graduates, many of whom are around us and have been around us during the day today. And I would like to introduce one of them to you. And I know some of you were not at the earlier ceremony. I would like for you to meet Elizabeth Harris Redmond, right here. And I'm going to tell you her claim to fame. Ms. Redmond was in the first graduating class. She graduated in 1929 from Buncombe County Junior College. We're happy to have you, Ms. Redmond. We are also here today to commemorate one of our very early leaders, Dr. Glenn Bushy. As part of this ceremony today, we will dedicate both the building, which is a rededication, and I know that for many of you it will always be high-rise in your minds and heart. But from the future on, as students come in, they will know that founders were important. And we are going to also dedicate a bench and a terrace area, which are behind me. Beautiful mums, benches in place, will serve as a refuge for many students in the future, and dedicate it to Dr. Glenn Bushy. Just a few comments about Dr. Bushy. He was the president of Asheville-Biltmore College for almost 15 years. He became the president almost exactly 50 years ago today. At least it was a couple of months earlier, or a month earlier, September the 1st, 1947, and he served until April of 1962. The college was then located on Merriman Avenue, the present site of the Grace Covenant Presbyterian Church. And I hope later, as you have a chance to go in the lobby here at the new Founders Hall, you will look at the photographs that are there commemorating the other sites where the university and the predecessor colleges have been located. He presided over the move from that location to Seeley's Castle in 1949. And he was the president during the entire time that the college was located at Seeley's Castle. The college received its first state funding during his tenure. He led in gaining the approval of a local bond referendum that made it possible to create this campus. He presided over the move from Seeley's Castle to this campus in 1961. He advocated building the college into a four-year institution, a goal that was subsequently realized. So he was a visionary in his time. He is thought of as a thoughtful, gentle, and patient leader in higher education, one who advocated the college, its growth, and its extension to 4 years, and who set the stage for times to come. He currently lives in Chattanooga, cannot be with us today, but we want him to know, perhaps through this videotape, that we appreciate the legacy that he left for us.
It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you Jesse Ray Jr., the chairman of our Board of Trustees.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we welcome you to the continuing Founders Day ceremonies. It is gratifying to be a part of this particular ceremony to honor those who have had courage, who have had determination, and who have had vision to place us where we are today. And that is to dedicate and to honor this particular residence hall. It is the intent of the current board to continue the vision of the founders. It is our intent to continue to increase our resident facilities so that UNCA can continue to grow and be an integral part of the UNC system, as well as an integral part of this community. So on behalf of the board, we want to say thank you to the founders. We want to say thank you to the faculty, to the staff, and most of all to the students who struggled during those early years, who had the perseverance to continue to make their goals a success, and in essence, to make UNCA a success. Thank you.
I now please introduce to you Adrian Tatum, current president of the Student Government Association and member of the class of 1998. Adrian is originally from Statesville, North Carolina, and is a major in political science. His leadership in the Student Government Administration is serving to reinvigorate this important facet of life. Adrian?
On behalf of the student body, we want to say thank you to our founders and to everyone here, and those people not here, because this is not about rededicating a building. It's about celebrating those people who have put the effort and the enthusiasm together to get UNCA where it is today and where it's going in the future. A lot of students are like, well, it's going to be high-rise, it's high-rise, it's high-rise. And they fail to see the importance of it not being about the place where you live, but the place where you are, and that is UNCA. Because I learned a long time ago that nothing was ever achieved without enthusiasm. And UNCA would never be where it is today without the enthusiasm of the founders and people like myself, other students, faculty, staff, administration, and other contributors to UNCA to be where it is today. So on behalf of the student body, I say thank you.
Student leadership such as Adrian's is a hallmark of UNCA and its predecessor institutions. I'm extremely pleased this afternoon to introduce to you one of UNCA's great student and alumni leaders, Kenneth Cagle. As a student in the early 1980s, Ken is the only person to have ever served as a student government president twice. I take it that that was a good sign, Ken. Under his leadership, student government began to tackle the new challenges of an ever-growing student body. His leadership did not end on our campus, but was seen statewide as he served as one of the first presidents of the Statewide Association of Student Governments. Since graduating in 1985, Ken has remained an active alumnus, serving in 1991 as president of the Alumni Association. Always a great friend of UNCA, I'm pleased to welcome Kenneth Cagle.
It's great to be here today and part of the Founders Day celebration of the 7th anniversary. And I was walking across campus and they were playing a song and it said a few of my favorite things. And you know, as I look around and see that some of the students, the people, the legislators, and alumni here today, the faculty and staff who are here. This is probably uniquely one of a few of my favorite things. UNCA is a unique place. It's a wonderful place to be. I remember watching the foundation of this building being placed, the footers being dug, when the cement was being poured, and looking out above and down below on top of the building as you see today with the steel beams being erected. And it just stood above campus. It was unlike any other building that had been on campus, because as far as students, back then I was a commuter student and we didn't have really a place to call home because we were commuting from our rented houses off campus and coming home. And then we moved from the little tiny village area that we had to this new building, and gradually there was a transformation. It started becoming more and more of a college. People had a sense of belonging to the university, and this building today has a lot to do with that feeling of belonging to the university. I remember the excitement of the students and watching UNCA change from this predominantly commuter school to having the adequate housing that we have here today. And I also remember the excitement. The students came and parked their cars for the first time down below here and moving up and moving their belongings inside this great building. Finally, today I've come full circle from watching a building go up to now actually being part of the foundation and placement of a new residence hall, South Ridge 3, that's on the other side of campus, and real excited to be involved in the placing of the footings, the foundation, and the building of that. And it's been a great 70 years, and I'm thrilled to be involved in even a small part, and truly this is one of my favorite things.
I will always remember August 18th, 1988. Literally one of the hottest days ever recorded in the history of the city of Asheville. It was on that day that I moved with all of my stuff. And as anybody who ever went in my room will tell you, it was a lot of stuff. I moved into this room, into this very hot and very un-air-conditioned building, which does get fixed this summer, by the way. I had a fan that I'd bought at a local drugstore. And I should have known better than to buy a fan at a local drugstore, because within 2 hours it burned up in a billowy cloud of smoke. I was without air conditioning on the hottest day in the city of Asheville. And as miserable as I can remember that day, I also remember it with such fond nostalgia. Because you see, it's that day that I was fortunate enough to become a member of the UNCA family. I didn't know on that day that I was beginning a lifelong journey and relationship with an institution that would forever change my life, as I know it has many of yours. I didn't know on that day that this would be the place where I would grow up. I didn't know that I was entering the halls of a university which was founded on such noble principles and by such dedicated educators that they would forever change my life. On September 7th, 1927, at the peak of Asheville's boom in the Roaring '20s, 86 students and a handful of faculty engaged in an experiment so noble that its purpose guides us to this very day. A.C. Reynolds, Charles A. Lloyd, J.J. Stevenson, and Virginia Bryan, and those 86 wide-eyed mountaineers from every corner and holler in western North Carolina, christened an institution which would provide post-secondary education to the students of western North Carolina that was as rigorous and competitive as any that they could find anywhere else. And that this institution would do all of this at a price that was affordable. For you see, when Buncombe County Junior College opened its doors, it charged no tuition. It was one of the few institutions ever in the history of our nation to do so. But the Depression unfortunately changed that forever. But our vision has stayed clear. Provide not good, not better, but the very best education to undergraduates possible, and to do so in a way that's affordable so that it's accessible to all. Now, this vision has not been an easy one to articulate over the past 70 years. It seems that life has always been an uphill struggle for us at this university. We've never had enough money. We've never had enough resources. And it always seems in many ways that the odds have been stacked against us. This building is a fine example of the spirit that persevered, however. From the moment that the last brick was laid in what was then called Dormitory Village, what we know today as the Governor's Village, William E. Highsmith, UNCA's first chancellor and the visionary who brought Asheville-Biltmore into the ranks of a senior four-year institution and as a member of the University of North Carolina system, began petitioning the legislature for money to build yet another dorm. For he and the faculty knew that to be the institution we wanted to be, we needed to provide affordable housing as well as affordable tuition. He did not want the university to pay for it because, frankly, we didn't have the money. He didn't want it to go on the backs of the students because they didn't have the money either. He asked the legislature to give us a help. It took over a decade, but in the early 80s, the state legislature granted $4.8 million for the building of high-rise and for Highsmith Center. Now, even in the early 1980s, $4.8 million was not a lot of money to build a residence hall and a student center with. But that didn't matter, because the vision of the university persevered. The vision of the leadership of the university, both in William Highsmith, the faculty, and the students, it all persevered. This spirit of excellence in the face of adversity is really what makes this university great. Today, for me personally, to have the opportunity to teach at a place that I am so proud of and to educate students in the shadow of such magnificent educators is a humbling but wonderful experience. So while what is now known for a few more moments as high-rise is not the biggest, the newest, and Lord knows it's not the prettiest building on campus, that doesn't matter, because there's no better example on our campus for what our founders stood for. They stood for a vision to do with what we had, to do with what our motto says, Leo oculos meos in montes, to lift thine eyes into the hills. But I would add that they added to that to take aim for the stars and don't stop until you get there. I am pleased on behalf of the alumni to dedicate this building to the founders of our fine institution. If you would please come and join us at the front entrance, Mr. Ray and Dr. Reed would like to unveil the plaque which will forever commemorate this moment, and please join us for refreshments inside.